Welcome to The Dropout Dude, the podcast where we break down the path to success without the traditional playbook. I'm Kuldeep Singh, a college dropout who went all in on building a marketing agency for gyms and fitness studios, taking my passion from India to Dubai at the age of 20. This podcast is my way of learning from the individuals who have made it to the top, from CEOs to self-made entrepreneurs, sharing their insights, lessons, and strategies for getting ahead. Whether you have followed a similar path or just want to rethink the rules, we are here to show you there's more than one way to make it big. Let's get into it. Welcome to the first podcast of The Dropout Dude. So today I'm here with Sana Khalid. She is a clinical nutritionist here in Dubai. Okay, so Sana, can you please introduce yourself? Like, how long have you been here in Dubai?
Yes, hi, thank you for having me. I've been in Dubai for the last 5 years and practicing as a nutritionist, clinical dietitian for the last 9 years. My specialty is in a lot of wellness for women. So I do a lot of maternity nutrition, pediatric. Now I've moved into diabetes, biohacking because everyone's doing it, but trying to find the balance between how a common person can get all of this into their day-to-day routine to optimize their health.
Okay, so you mentioned biohacking. So do you think because I see on Instagram and there's a lot of reels and talk about, is it just a trend or is this really something behind it?
It's a trend that seems to be working, right? So there's two ways to it. Yes, there are certain parts of it that are really helping people get the best out of their bodies. But there's some parts of it which I think are not really great, because putting chips into yourself and trying to become ultra human, that's something that really requires a lot more scientific, I would say, backing and evidence. But yes, biohacking in layman terms is trying to use certain maybe supplements, diet, whatever, you can call those things, to get the best and optimum state of health, right? So people use it for anti-aging, they use it to reverse a lot of diseases, they use it to lose weight, which is the number one reason why, the biohacking feature became very popular. Not just on Instagram, TikTok, there's a whole, people are writing books on it. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it does seem to be working. How it works and who should be doing it, now that's a big question. And without guidance, I don't think anyone should get into this. Because as long as it's limited to you just making changes in your diet and lifestyle, that's fine. But when you start taking supplements and drugs, then yes, an expert opinion is very much recommended.
Okay, so I see that this, after Corona, I see that these biohacking, because people had a lot of free time. So they started, researching about how they can, improve their health in Corona. So before that, it was not that of a trend on Instagram,
right,
or anything.
You've never heard about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we've got a biohack summit that happens.
Yeah.
So you see, what's happened is now they've got a label. Or, there's a category where all these wellness coaches, these health, freaks can come together. I won't say freak, I'm one of them, but they have now a platform called the Biohacker group, or let's just say I can label myself as a biohacker. If you've heard of Brian
Johnson.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Brian Johnson, he's got his own brand of supplements now. The dude eats, I think, 150 pills a day.
Yeah.
But you see, it's working, because when you can't call him a 50-year-old, he looks younger than us, right? Because he has, the resources to make that happen. But before Corona, you're right, there was no term called biohacking, or rather it didn't become this famous, this popular. People didn't have the time, they didn't know what to use when. But again, coming to the point of who and how, there is a lot of resources available on social media, off of social media. Like I said, people are writing books. So it's important that you filter through this and you don't just go blindly into it.
Yeah.
If it worked for you, it may not work for me. All of us have different DNA setups. We are all built very differently. Our ethnic backgrounds matter a lot, because what works for someone who's from the Southeast Asian belt may not work for somebody who's from the West, and vice versa, right? Things that work for people in the Middle East or people living in the Middle East may not work for somebody who's, living, let's say, in Australia. So all of this comes into picture when you read up, you try and do your own research. What is right, what will work for you can only be decided when you've spoken to an expert. And not an expert who's, tried it on himself and has a million followers and says, yes, this works. It has to be somebody who comes from the background, a medical professional, because biohacking is, of course, do it yourself, right? I read, I apply on myself, and I see the result. But it requires the backing from, let's say, a blood test to tell you if the biohacking is actually working also or not.
So it's like you can try something like the general things, general biohacking, or some of the things that you read online. But to get the maximum out of it, like biohacking, if you're hacking something, that means you're doing it fast and reliable. So to get that, you have to have some expert who guide you in the right direction.
100%. You need to know if it's working or not. Like, right, for example, bulletproof coffee is one of the easiest examples I can give you of a literal biohack, okay? Because you add some sort of fat to your coffee every day, and caffeine again acts as a stimulant. You take this every day. Now, how do you know if it's working or not? One is, okay, you may feel different, but that can also be psychological, right? Because, okay, that person on TikTok said it'll work, it should work. So you're mentally telling yourself, yes, it's working. But to actually see if it's working or not, there are blood tests that can tell you. There are DNA tests that can tell you if this form of biohack will actually work on your system or not. So yeah, a medical professional, a nutritionist, or even a personal trainer for that matter, all of these people form key figures in having a successful biohack experiment. Right.
Okay. So you mentioned Brian Johnson. I see, like, I have read or seen his reels and Instagram. Like he has been to multiple podcasts and he's talking. So recently, I think he went on, I don't remember the name, but he went on someone's, and then he was talking about some kind of, blood fusion with his younger son to transfer some of the blood. I don't know the exact name. So what is that like?
So we also see this in practice. If you've heard of people who've got hair transplants done or who've got like skin rejuvenation done, it's called PRP. It's a very common term, right? So people use their own blood. They use the good part out of the blood, the plasma-rich protein, right? So they take the plasma component out of the blood, they add some good stuff into it, and then they inject it back into your own body. Okay, so PRP is widely used. It's not as widely talked about, but now because he's been using it to, look younger, because taking blood plasma proteins from his son, injecting it into himself, looking much younger because his son is, I think, 16.
Yeah.
Right. So, trying to show that he can look much younger, as if he's not already looking younger. But this is an experiment that he's trying. And like I said, accessibility to these things is not favorable for a lot of us, because I may not have the money to do it, number one.
Yeah.
I'll need to find some doctor to do it for me, secondly, because I can't really inject myself, draw blood, do the whole process. I don't have those machines at home. Thirdly, the idea itself is brand new, right? You've never heard of this happening before. Yes, it used to happen where people are donating plasma, right? In cases where you have malaria or dengue or, even cancer, a lot of those forms, they transplant this, but not to look young, right? Yeah. So the idea itself is brand new. So we'll have to wait and watch what he comes up with next.
Yeah, so like he has resources and everything to do it. He has money to do it. And
he's being monitored. Yeah, so you see that, right? It's not that he's done it and he's waiting for the result. He has hourly monitoring. He's connected to all of these machines, these gadgets. He has his private medical team, to help him get to the point that he wants to reach, which I would say layman does not have. Common people like us, we don't have access to all of this. even if we did, I don't think they would go by the idea of, trying something so experimental.
So let's say like we don't have the resources. So what are the things that people can do like for biohacking, or like in general, like people don't have that much of resources? Like can they do biohacking even then, like we don't have the
Of course.
resources?
See, resources can just be your Instagram. Like you said, you came across this person through Instagram and through YouTube. All we need is Wi-Fi, I would say, right? And an account. So yes, go through a lot of these profiles, read up about what biohacking actually is and what it means for you. Because at the end of the day, you are the best judge of how your body works. Then combine it with medical research. Of course, I don't expect a normal common man to understand medical terms, right? Which is why there are a lot of doctors, a lot of nutritionists who break it down for them, who will tell you in, simple language what supplement does what sort of biohacking can help you. Intermittent fasting, again, is a very big thing. It's a big trend. People are trying to do it, but they don't do it right. And then they end up, gaining all the weight back. Keto diets, again, were a huge trend. People still do it. It works for a lot of them. Just giving you a tip, not a tip, it's a fact that keto diets were made for children with seizures.
Okay,
you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't know.
So medically, keto diets were designed for children with seizures.
Okay.
Because not giving them any carbs prevented the brain from getting too excited. And then the seizure rate dropped. And today we use it for a completely different reason, right? So make sure whatever biohack you think that you want to try, it's number one, sustainable. You can do it in the long run, right? Secondly, it's not something that is invasive, right? Like putting in chips. Or I read about just a few days ago, this guy who wanted to put in implants inside his ear. So they become earphones forever.
Really?
Yeah. So
this I'm hearing for the first time.
And then he would, his goal was basically to calm his mind by non-stop playing something in the background, the white noise that we call, and to calm himself down, trying to reach some sort of, mental nirvana state. So yeah, don't be crazy about it and don't overdo it. To strike that balance, definitely it requires a certain level of understanding these terms and, of course, end of the day, understanding your body. That's the biggest takeaway from this.
Okay, so like we in our studio, like a lot of people come and ask for nutrition, diet, like give us the diet, but they're saying I'm not eating. Like I'm not eating at all. You said intermediate dieting. They're eating one time, and then after 24 hours they're eating one time, and they're saying like still it's not working. Like what should I do, because I'm not eating that much? So what would be what's the reason?
Okay, again, coming to what I said earlier, that each body is made differently, right? And intermittent fasting, again, these are classic examples of those guys who are doing it by reading random things, but don't really know how to do it. They're not doing it under guidance, right? There are a lot of studies which tell you that not eating can put your body in something called as a starvation mode, right? So when 24 hours of fasting I've done, or let's say 18 hours of fasting that I've done, and then I've eaten one meal. Now my body thinks this person is starving. Whatever he's eaten, start storing it as fat.
Okay,
this actually happens. And all the clients that you have, this is probably happening with them too, because if they're not eating at all, then why are they not gaining? Why are they not losing weight?
Yeah.
This is a classic reason that your metabolism differs from that person that you've watched on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And your metabolism is a very sensitive phenomena that happens in the body. It can switch like this. It can switch on and off with just, 2 nights of not sleeping well. Your metabolism can go into the drain. So again, understanding this person's needs by doing a proper assessment and doing the required blood work, and of course putting him on a diet which will support the workout also, because when they're coming to your studio, they are trying to build muscle also.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're not getting enough protein or the right vitamins, then there is zero muscle growth. You will not lose fat, you will not gain muscle, you will be stuck in that position till your body decides that, okay, now is the time, that I can actually make changes. That'll happen only when a medical professional has given you the right guidance.
Okay, so coming to like exercising and diet. So people start, let's say, dieting, okay? And then they think, oh, I'm eating less, I'm eating right. Or they have gone to nutritionist and getting the diet proper, they're tracking everything. But they're just walking and not doing any physical exercise or workout or any kind of EMS or anything, any physical workout. So don't you think, like, is that feasible, or one or another? What do you think? Like, both are necessary?
Okay, so diet and exercise, see, they go hand in hand, right? We used to, back in the day when we studied, we used to draw this triangle, and there was diet, exercise, and drugs. Okay, so it's a triangle. You break one section off, then the triangle breaks, right? So diet and exercise should be done simultaneously. Now, there are many, many, many cases where doing just a diet has helped people start to lose weight, right? Because they've sort of eliminated certain things which were making them gain weight, which were causing inflammation. Now, there's another big trend that's going viral, is how this famous Indian actress came on a podcast, and she said, just with diet, I've managed to lose all this weight because my expert team took foods out which were causing inflammation. Okay.
So what's this inflammation?
Inflammation is basically your body's response to something that doesn't sit well with it. Okay. Inflammation, a simple example I can give you is, you've heard of arthritis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people, young people, are also getting arthritis. Now, arthritis is your body's immune system throwing in a response and telling that, okay, this person cannot have regular joints. Okay, so there is swelling. Okay, it comes in the form of swelling, in the form of pain. It can come in the form of gut issues, right? It can cause bloating, it can cause diarrhea, constipation. Now, there are a lot of forms which it can present in, but inflammation is a classic sign of the body going into all the wrong ways. Right? You can have difficulty losing weight. You can have brain fog. Again, brain fog is a very common term today. I didn't know about it until 2 years ago. COVID has brought these terms out. It can cause brain fog. It can even lead to depression and anxiety. Okay. So inflammation is not easy to catch because it may not be apparent. Like, I might have inflammation which I may not even know about. So there are blood markers. Right? Blood tests can help you recognize if there is any local inflammation in the body. And once you've identified that, and then this happens more in women than in men, because we also go through a lot of hormonal imbalances. A lot of young girls are coming in with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian disease. Again, a term which was not common 10 years ago, but now it's become very, very common. Every third patient that walks in is a patient with PCOD. That's how common it's become. So inflammation is the primary cause. And just, off the top of my head, 3 things that cause inflammation are gluten, lactose, sugar. Okay. So when a common person decides, okay, I want to change my diet, if they follow this rule that you cut out these 3 things, then your body automatically starts fighting inflammation. Okay. You have foods which increase inflammation, the top 3 which I just told you about, and then you have foods which fight inflammation, wherein you have a lot of antioxidants. You have fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds, unprocessed foods. So these are the foods which can help fight inflammation. Now, when I say there is no apparent way to check if you have inflammation except for a blood test, if you've done this for 3 months, let's say you avoided these 3 things, you will start seeing the changes. You'll start feeling better. Your weight loss journey, if it was stuck, you may start seeing more weight loss happen. You'll start feeling lighter. Your moods get better. And then the blood test is your follow-up also. You repeat the blood test and you see the change in these markers. Right? So this diet alone can help with reduce your inflammation. Exercise. Now, if you compare, there's a body composition analysis, right? You must have heard of it. All the gym goers know about this.
Yes.
which is basically a differentiation of how much muscle you have, what percent of fat, and what percent of water. Now, when you compare the body composition analysis of, let's say, two people, one who's exercising quite a lot, but who has a very poor diet, and secondly, somebody who's been dieting only and not doing any exercise, you will find that both of them, somewhere or the other, will have very poor muscle mass. Okay, because to build muscle, you need to eat the right kind of protein. And also, when you eat the right kind of protein, like the person with the good diet was doing, you need to work out to make sure that protein is used up. So they do go hand in hand. Yes, there are some cases where exercising is not allowed. People who have these immune conditions like arthritis, where their joints, their body does not support exercise, where the chances of injury are high. But there are rehab, options. EMS is one of them, which really helps to, I would say, tackle fitness in these people, this section of people. But otherwise, diet and exercise should always be done together. Now, that exercise depends on your schedule, how you would like to incorporate it in your daily life. The standard rule is at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week, which I think anyone can probably, 30 minutes is not a long time.
It's not a long time,
yeah.
For your health, like it's not
exactly.
that. Okay, so you mentioned the muscle mass, like people who don't, do one on another, like they have low muscle mass. So I was reading about a study or an article that it was saying muscle mass, like if you have good muscles, the people who have good muscles, they tend to have less stress.
Of course.
Because it's like some studies shows that it is directly related to your, stress, and it releases some kind of, I don't know the exact name of the hormone or something, but it reduced a lot of like less stress in people.
Yes, it does. Because when you work out, what happens? Typically, when you're running on the treadmill, for example, or if you're jogging outside in the park, your body is now reducing the levels of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Okay, this goes down only with physical activity. It cannot go down with you saying, I'm going to eat very, very healthy and not do anything else. It may reduce, but the change that happens when you're actually moving is highly significant, and which is also the reason why your happy hormones start coming out. When the stress hormone levels go down, it also pulls down the insulin levels. Okay, and insulin is the hormone which is required to burn carbs. Okay, so when insulin levels start working better, you're burning carbs much better, you will start seeing better outcomes. And you'll also feel happier because you're seeing the outcome as well, right? You ran for 5 days, you're feeling much better. So automatically your stress levels drop, right? But of course, physiologically speaking, when you exercise, your stress levels go down because the hormone which is responsible to bring stress levels down comes under control.
So people say that anything happen, breakup happens, just go to the gym.
Yes, they're right. Do it.
Do it. Yeah. Okay. So like, let's say diet and exercise. A person is doing both diet and exercise, workout, or any physical activity. So what's the impact of that on a person's longevity? Like, let's say if one person is doing only diet and one person is only having like good workout or not focusing on both, like what's the impact of that on longevity?
Okay, so longevity again is directly linked to having a higher muscle mass. Okay, so the lesser amount of fat you've got in your body, the better quality of life and the better quality of health, right? Medically speaking, or rather even nutritionally speaking, when we tell our patients to go on high protein diets, we're also telling them to exercise on the side, right? Because but not doing anything about it will end up in loose muscle, right? So you'll see people, you must have seen people who don't look fat, but their body is still made with a lot of fat. Right? I have a colleague who is, in this similar sense, when we did her body composition analysis, she is very skinny, but she is skinny fat because 46% of her body was made of fat.
Really?
Yeah. But she looks very skinny.
But like to the naked eye, and you can see
skinny.
that she's skinny.
She's skinny. So looks are really deceptive. A skinny person can also be at a very high risk for getting heart problems. Only because their body fat is the one that's responsible for increasing this risk. So the lower percentage of body fat you have, you're cutting out the chances of heart disease, of diabetes, of high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels. All of these which directly and indirectly lead to, are linked to longevity. Right? If I get heart disease at an early age, I've cut down my life by 5 years already. Right?
Exactly.
Same goes with high blood pressure. The higher blood pressure I have, and all these lifestyle diseases, which we call them, they're all linked. Now, if I'm obese, I am opening the doors for diabetes. I'm opening the doors for high blood pressure. And when I get these, I've also cut down my life by, let's say, 10 years. So longevity is linked to both diet and exercise and eliminating the risk of these chronic lifestyle diseases.
Yeah. So like when you start doing exercises and like eating good, clean food and proper nutrition, so you can see the person like you can see the visible changes on their face and on their skin. So what is the reason for that? Like when you see a person, me, when I went for gym, right now I'm not doing it, but when I was like going to the gym, I can see like my skin is getting better, and I can see the physical changes and my glow as well.
Because see, you improve blood circulation. In just putting it out very in simple terms, exercise improves blood circulation. It makes sure that when you're following the good diet, all the nutrients that you're getting are delivered to all your organs. Which is why post-workout you see people put those pictures, right? That, the post-workout glow. It's the glow because blood has rushed into your face, it's gone to your heart, it's gone to your legs, it's gone to all the organs. And when you're supporting this with a very good diet, with, like you said, a clean diet, with a lot of whole foods, with the right vitamins, the blood is enriched with all of this. And when it delivers this clean and nice blood to all your organs, your organ health improves also. Which is why you start seeing the person as a healthy person. Right? You can tell that, okay, this person looks nice. He has a nice physique. They may not have six-pack abs, but they're probably toned. They have nice skin. They have very healthy hair. They have very nice nails. They don't look dehydrated and depressed and sad, right? This is one reason, because when your organs start working well, the body also detoxes very well. And detox is also a trend, right? People are doing detox diets, which is completely wrong. Detox diets do not exist, guys. Detoxing happens every day, even if you don't do a detox diet. Okay, your body is made in such a way that your liver, your kidneys, their function primarily is to detox the body. Okay, so when you think 10 days I'll drink this detox juice, it'll help. No.
Your skin will be clear, glowing.
No. Sorry.
Me, as I think, like this is also a label, AI and biohacking, detoxing. It is a way of you selling some product. Someone is selling you some product.
Yeah.
So you have to research, or if you're spending good amount of money, like if you feel good about it, so like you're taking good detox water or something, it's good that you feel you take it. But if you're looking for results, so what do you think, like the product, does it help in your skin glow and these?
See, the detox diet or the detox juices are mostly DIY, right? They'll tell you add cucumber, mint, lemon, honey, blah, blah, blah. Put this in your water and drink this. Now, the good part about it, I don't want to be, pessimistic, because yes, we come from the same fraternity. But the good part or the silver lining is at least it's getting the other person to drink and hydrate. Right? So the good part is that. The bad part is, don't think that only this is going to make you detox. Right? Like I said, your body is made to detox. It will happen irrespective of you drinking this water or not. What your body needs is plain water. because the kidneys work with water, right? So the more hydrated you are, the more you drink and flush out, your toxins are also going out. But yes, there are cases now, especially in today's time post COVID, where the stress levels have really gone up. The environment is very polluted. Okay, and I don't just mean looking at smoke and polluted air. Even the AC ducts, they are giving out a whole set of pollutants which you cannot see, right? And especially us here in Dubai, we're sitting in the AC 24 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Car has AC, your office has AC, the parking lot has AC, everything is air-conned. You're inhaling air which may or may not be very clean. You don't get enough sleep because we are sitting and watching, TV podcasts. Right? We are trying to make the most of our 24 hours, which unfortunately reduces your sleep time. And a lot of research has gone into saying even 6 hours of sleep is enough, which is not ideal, I would say. It can...
So, what I think is like, I have read about it. I don't know if it's correct or not. So, it is directly related. So, the more aged you are, the more as you gone up in your age, the less sleep you need.
No, it's the other way around, because your body needs longer to recover then. So when you're sleeping, what's happening is all your organs are resetting. Okay, and the older you grow, the more your organs need to work for you, right? Imagine it as a car which is aging. And when you don't put your engine oil, when you don't clean the car from inside, it stops working eventually, right? So our organs also are like that. They are working non-stop without our knowledge, right? We have so much to be grateful for, but we don't think of it till you actually end up with a problem. Right? So, like in COVID, air, everybody said breathing is such a big blessing, right?
I hope my father didn't see this podcast, because when I was back in India, so I used to sleep a lot. Like I'm sleeping 8, 9, 10 hours, and he was like, you sleep a lot, you don't work anything, and how can you grow in your life, and this and that. So I used to give him this statement that you need less sleep, or I need more sleep, because I'm very younger.
No. So all of us require minimum 6 hours, right? We sort of, use that particular number for our own convenience. The days you want to party and, watch TV all night, you're like, okay, 6 hours is enough. And the days where you really want to sleep, you're like, no, minimum 6 hours. I need to sleep more than this. Just a few days ago, I was reading this paper on how women need more sleep than men. Okay, women do not need 6 hours. We need at least 10 hours of sleep, because women require more rest for our hormones to function better. Right? So all the women listening, please make sure you try and catch at least 8 to 9 hours of undisturbed sleep. 6 hours is not made for women. 6 hours was a very generalized rule that came out very long ago. And now research has shown that women's hormones take much longer to process. Right? Because most of our hormones are made by the kidneys. Whereas men do not rely on the hormones that come from the kidneys. Right? So for men, I would say, 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours is okay. For women, at least 8 to 10 hours is a good time. Also, Brian Johnson, again, let me quote him. He has, according to his blueprint, sleeping is the new coffee, is what he had said, right? And that particular show on YouTube was very, very, it got a lot of likes, because what he was saying was actually right, that your body needs rest to recover, to rejuvenate, for your organs to work better. And you must have felt it too. The nights where you have undisturbed sleep, you wake up in a very bad mood.
Yeah.
Right? Because your body has not had enough rest. Versus the day you've slept like a baby and you wake up and you feel like, you can do anything today. So that's the impact that sleep has on your body.
So it's not like one day you have slept a long time, like for 10 hours of sleep, and then the next day you were sleeping for 4 or 5 hours.
A lot of us are doing this because, we try to do the weekend catch up, right? The whole week you were just like, I'll sleep over the weekend and I can still manage to catch my shows in the night. That's not a nice, good practice, right? Because the lack of sleep for those 5 days versus that one day where you're making it up, right? Thinking that you're making up by sleeping for 10 to 12 hours, your body has lost those 5 days of recovery, right? And what you're getting on day 6 of sleeping for 10 hours is only for that day. What you lost in those 5 days is gone. It's not going to come back.
It's like people think that nutrition or sleep is same, because in a week if you're eating something and like you're taking nutrition, you have eaten 2 days less, and then the next day you're like you're busy or something and you get the nutrition on the third day. But sleep, it's not like this. Sleep, you have to be correct me if I'm wrong.
You're right, because people think that, okay, I'm going to cheat today and anyway the whole week I won't cheat. I tell my patients a cheat meal. It's not a cheat day, right? So it's one meal you cheat, and cheat meal, again, this is also a hype, I would say, because if you're eating normal food every day, right, then you will never feel the need to cheat. If I'm eating junk every day, right, I don't want to name brands, but let's say I'm eating burgers and pizzas every single day, then that's my diet, right? That's what I'm eating. The day I eat a salad, that'll be my cheat meal.
That will be cheat. Yeah, exactly.
So if you're eating normal, healthy food every single day, then you'll never feel the need to call a meal a cheat meal, right? One day I ate a burger, it's okay. The other day I'm still going to eat my normal food. I can make that burger and eat it myself. So it still counts in my healthy food category, right? So if you're eating healthy food, don't think of cheating as I deserve a day. No. We all deserve to be healthy, and it's on us, right? You put the effort, you see the result. Nobody can make you do it. Yes, they might make you do it for a month, for 3 months, but how sustainable is that, right? It's a mindset. The day you decide this is going to be how I live and what I do for my health, things will fall in place.
Okay. So in the starting, you mentioned a triangle, right? So there is diet, exercise, and there is drugs. So what do you mean by like drugs?
Medication.
Yeah,
Let's change the term. So diet, exercise, and medicine, right? It's a triangle. They always go hand in hand to make sure you have a healthy lifestyle. Now, supplements have taken the world by storm today, especially post-COVID, because in COVID, nobody really knew what is the cure. No one.
So just to clarify this, so the drugs that you're mentioning, it's drugs or medicine that you're mentioning, it's supplements.
Supplements and medicine as well, like prescription medication. Okay, both. I'm mentioning both, and both should be used with a lot of caution and under guidance only, right? Post-COVID, what happened? Everybody wanted a cure. They wanted to build their immunity. So you also know what all came into the market. People were bringing out, okay, vitamin C, zinc, ashwagandha, vitamin C, zinc, selenium. There were so many combinations out in the market, only because somebody had prescribed vitamin C and said that this will help you build your immunity. So that went, it was a whirlwind of supplements that came out in the market. A lot of them not even registered, a lot of them not even tested correctly, but still being circulated in the market, right? When you talk about supplements or the third part of the triangle, which is medicine, there are a lot of medical conditions that can cause you to, have hurdles in your journey. For example, weight loss, right? Now, I've been trying to lose weight for very long, but it's not happening. You went to the doctor finally, and the doctor said, okay, you have pre-diabetes, for example. Okay, that's causing an issue. And let's add in another one, issues with the thyroid. Okay, now the first thing people think of is, if I start this medication, I'm going to be on it forever, right? This is a very common misconception and a myth. And they'll be like, no, now let me try doing diet and exercise, and for sure I'll be able to fight this. Okay, which as medical professionals, we even allow. We say, okay, 3 months you try with your lifestyle. If it doesn't work, then you can start the medication. Because people have this fear or this anxiety that if I start taking this supplement or if I start taking this medication, I'm stuck with it for life. The same can be the other way around, where they think if I start taking this medication and the supplement today, nothing will happen to me in the future, right? It works both ways. So move with caution. You always need to understand if this supplement is really required or not. There are plenty of them out in the market. People still continue to take 1000 mg of vitamin C every day. Why are you taking it? Eat an orange, right? Eat a guava. You will get your vitamin C. No, I'm keeping my immunity secure. You don't need immunity now. If you've been eating normally, if you've had, a little bit of physical activity here and there, you don't need to take vitamin C every day. Because this as a routine started in COVID, it's still continuing. So people should use a little logic, use a little reasoning, and see the actual need for supplements. There is a need. There are medications that are really required in some cases where we tell you it's not gonna, reverse by itself. You do need some medical support. Listen to your doctor. Listen to your nutritionist. Listen to your medical, your GP or whoever, your family doctor you're going to see. And you have the right to take another opinion. If you don't agree, go see another specialist. And if they say the same thing, then, 2:1, listen to them and use it for the benefit of it. Don't go the other way around, where you buy a supplement first in the sense of the biohack, right? There is a whole list of supplements that biohackers use. Don't go blindly into it, just thinking that, okay, this is available, it's helping these people, I'm going to take it too. Because ultimately, remember, like I was talking about the detox process, right? Your body needs to throw these out as well. They don't come in a natural form. Supplements are never, it's not a fruit, right? It's always in the form of a capsule or a liquid or something which your body needs to digest, process, and eliminate, right? So imagine that extra load which you're adding for it to be flushed out. And secondly, you may not even need it. So always first find the need for it. Second, take opinions, get expert help, and only then proceed with supplements.
So I saw one brand in like Instagram or running ads. So I think he's also a podcaster and he's promoting, is like some kind of influencer. So they take your blood and then provide you with the customized nutrition, like Bionic. Yeah, I remember Bionic. You know about Bionic?
Yes, so it's precision medicine, okay, or precision diets. We can call it that too when we work with patients who come to us with very specific goals, right? And when we do like their DNA tests, this blood test which you're talking about, this is the best way to go forward, right? Because when I keep saying find the need for it, the blood test will give you the 100% confirmation that yes, your body requires this. Yeah, a blood test can tell you the current status, right? For example, you did your blood test today and it says you have a vitamin D deficiency. I will prescribe the vitamin D supplements for you. 3 months later, we repeat the blood work, right, to see if it's improved or not. What the DNA test will do is it will tell me if you are genetically prone to getting this deficiency or not. So today you may have the deficiency. 6 months later, you may not have it because you've taken the supplement. But your DNA test is telling me that this person has a very high risk of getting a vitamin D deficiency throughout your life, right? So then my prescription changes. Because I'm like, okay, I need to put you on a maintenance dose because you will always have the risk of getting vitamin D deficient. And then, not just, this is just an example, but we do test for a lot of other vitamins and minerals. And when we realize, okay, this is the risk that you've got, and we do a live current status blood test and we see, okay, these are the vitamins he's currently deficient in, then they make sort of a cocktail, right, which only you can take. Because it's got the concentration of certain vitamins and minerals which only you have the deficiency in, right? So it's formulated in such a way that it will target those deficiencies in you and it will give you the benefits directly, right? Instead of you buying 3-4 different multivitamins and hoping, like the hit and miss rule where it may work, it may not work. So precision medicine or the bionic, the one that you just mentioned, these are more targeted, they're more specific. So it saves time, right? It gives you the results much faster. And also we are then tackling the deficiency very quickly before it does more damage, right? Before you start seeing elevated symptoms, we've already tackled it.
So, like as I understood, we started with biohacking. So biohacking is directly, attached with, getting result faster, immediately or efficiently. So you can see that if we are using precision medicine, like you are taking your body, like your personalized body tests, DNA tests, and then you are filling all the like blocks that you have missed. Or it's not like that you mentioned that you don't have to take vitamin C every day, but if it's a deficiency, your body may not like tend to produce less, or so it might, like you might need it for a long time.
Correct. So precision medicine, biohacking, they always work together if you've got some data to back it up. Like the raw data here comes from your DNA and your blood work. It's given us these numbers, it's given us this information. Based on that, then I will decide what sort of a supplement mix you need, what supplements you need for good, right? Like if you've got this deficiency risk, then I will put you on maintenance for a good amount of time. Same goes with the diet. Now, what kind of changes can I make? If genetically you are prone to having lactose intolerance, right? You may show me a risk, but symptomatically you have no problems with milk, right? Where we come from, every morning milk is a must, right? You have to drink that milk, no other option. So our bodies were trained to digest it no matter what. A lot of us did have stomach issues, but nobody really addressed it. They would just pass it off. My parents did it. They would say, it's fine, just get over it, right? If I actually had a deficiency, there was no time or the resource or the opportunity to find that out, right? But now when I've done my DNA test, it does show me that I have a medium risk for lactose intolerance, right? My body does not have those enzymes or does not have those receptors which make these enzymes to digest lactose. And now when I show my parents the proof, they're like, no, you people just come up with these things, right? So people have become more receptive to it, no doubt, which is why it's become such a big trend. It's become such a big practice, I would say, for us to actually test your DNA and try to bring about changes. So you can't change your DNA, okay? Hacking only means you're trying to sort of alter it in a certain way or find alternatives which will make those genes work better. Now, if I know, okay, lactose intolerance, I have a risk for it, I'll just switch to lactose-free milk, right? I won't cut it out completely from my diet. I'll switch to lactose-free alternatives. I'll have more yogurt. I'll make my own yogurt if I have the time, right? I'll find other things like soy milk, almond milk. Everything's available everywhere today, right? And I'll try to improve my gut health in certain ways which will help my genes work better. So you find alternatives, you can find it only if you know the root cause, right? And this helps us find the root cause of all your health issues because your DNA is unique to only you. The test is giving you results based on what work for you and what will not work for you. Giving you another example, my DNA test also told me I'm very bad with resistance training. I don't have those hormones or those receptors and enzymes which will help me perform better when I'm doing resistance training. I am more suited to cardio, which I have seen also, right? Whenever I do any strength training, I end up with injuries.
Okay.
It always happens. And my physiotherapist, she used to tell me, no, you're just, not doing it correctly. So
you're just making up excuses to not doing it.
To not do it. She's like, come on, get up and do it. You've seen, right? How even personal trainers sometimes want to push you. In their head, they're saying, we're pushing you to do it. We're giving you that motivation, which we lack, right? And when I did this test, it made so much sense that I can run a 5K marathon very easily without injuring myself. But when you put me inside a gym and tell me, use these bands and do this particular exercise with dumbbells, I'll end up having sore muscles for 3-4 days easily.
Okay.
So genetically, my body knows that cardio exercises are better suited and resistance is not a good thing. So when you start changing the way you work out, obviously you will see a better outcome.
So you were saying like we can get the nutrition deficiency, and you can see how which nutrition you have to take with these DNA tests.
Yes.
And so you can also know that which workout suits you better.
Yep.
So where can a person get these DNA tests, and what kind of test it is?
Right. So it's called a DNA test for lifestyle diseases. We call it for your lifestyle. It's called a wellness DNA. Some people call it a holistic DNA. There are two things that, as a consumer, you should know. One is that it should be a very trusted lab. They should have all the certifications and the accreditations that are required by law in that particular country. Second one is, this is not the DNA test which gives you your ancestry, okay. Which tells me where I came from and how many generations ago, which country, what happened. No. This is the one which you can also term it as a precision DNA, right? There are a lot of labs doing it because, like I said, it's proved to be a very successful, very efficient, very informative test to deal with a lot of the lifestyle issues that a couple of us are facing. So a lot of labs are doing it. Nutritionists also prescribe it and recommend the labs. I am tied up to a couple of labs as well, where I send my patients. It's a very simple test. It only requires a mouth swab. Okay, so there's no blood involved in the initial process, right? Where for your DNA test, you don't need the blood work. You need a blood test again, which is just, normal. When you go to a lab, they take your blood. It's just that. The blood test comes in as a second step. Once we've got your DNA, then we confirm some of those things with the blood test. Confirm what? We're confirming your deficiencies mainly. And if it tells me you have a risk of heart disease, then I'll run your cholesterol numbers and just, correlate and see where your numbers currently stand. Because the risk which your DNA test is giving you is lifelong. You were born with that, right? What the blood test is telling you is current status. That today you may not have a deficiency, but maybe in 5 years you may have something, right? Which logically will also happen. So the tests, there are a lot of labs. The two things that I told you, just keep those in mind, that the lab should be certified. It should be highly recommended by doctors, medical professionals. It should have all the required accreditations and certifications, and then you're good to go.
So when you see the people who don't have much knowledge about these tests and DNA tests, and so is it expensive or anyone can do it, or it's not that?
I would say it is. Now, when you talk about expensive, that's the term itself, definition is different for a lot of us. But like I would tell my patients also, the DNA test is a once in a lifetime test, right? So if you're investing that money on yourself, then I don't see it as expensive or not expensive.
So it's like you are hacking, or you are playing it smart, that you are getting every information, like rather than doing trial and error.
Exactly.
You're getting
so you waste time. I won't say waste time, but you spend a lot of time trying to see what works on you, right? Like when I did my DNA test, I did it as a birthday gift to myself, right? I said, no, I need to know, because also I'm in this field, and it's very, very good to understand what you're made of, right? And what will work for you. So just think of it as a personal investment. And again, it's not too expensive, right? People keep running discounts all the time.
Yeah, what I think is, like, if you're investing on yourself and your future, because if you're getting everything laid out that you may get this, you can fix it like before.
Exactly. So before it's too late, you can fix it. I had a 50-year-old patient who said, I really want to do the test, but it's already too late, right? Like I'm already 50. So I said to him, right, you're already 50, but if you can live up to 70, don't you want those 20, 30 years of your life to be the best, right? It's never too late. So especially to all the young guys listening to us, I would say if you are on the route to making your life much healthier, and if you're thinking of biohacking and trying these things out, move into a DNA test. Find one, do it, and based on that, start with your biohack journey.
Okay. So this topic is like as DNA, and this is like very interesting to me because me as a person, I also when I go to the gym, okay, I was doing gym, and then I don't know, like I have to eat a lot to gain those small 1 or 2 kgs of muscles. So I gain once I get to a point, and then I'm stuck. Like I'm let's say I'm at 60, then I'm at stuck at 60. Now I'm doing everything, eating, and now it's not going up. So what's the issue for people who have a very skinny body? And
so you must have also heard of the body shape types:
Yeah,
ectomorph,
ectomorph,
endomorph, right?
yes.
Mesomorph. So these are genetic predispositions, right? This is how your genetic body frame was made. So if anyone else in your family has a similar body structure, right? It can be your parents, siblings, grandparents, maternal uncles, right? If any one of those had a similar body structure when they were at your age, then high chances are you've got these genes in your body, right? And they may or may not change. How you may gain is the number of fat cells that you have. Probably they'll start growing, right? Or the size and structure of fat cells can change. But if you're genetically disposed to have an ectomorph body, right, like you have that lean skinny build, nothing can change it unless you get, God forbid, some disease which can cause inflammation, which is causing your body to swell up. Again, that's not an ideal scenario. You don't want to be gaining weight like that, right? The best way to go forward is continue eating more protein, continue putting more pressure on your muscles, and build your muscle in that way, right? And also hormones play a big role. As you age, certain hormones drop, certain hormones take precedence, they start working a lot more. So with age you may see that yes, your muscle growth is taking a different shape, right? It can happen. It has happened in a lot of cases as well, that when you start getting closer to your 30s, the muscle's shape starts changing. You will need to start putting a little more effort because your metabolism has started to drop, right? But the hormones that take precedence at that point of time, they're helping you build more muscle. So yeah, I would always recommend that if you're thin, if you are finding it difficult to put on weight, it's okay, right? Focus on improving your muscle mass. And again, with gym goers, it's very easy to check your muscle mass. Always keep a track every 3 months to get your muscle mass tested, and keep those numbers going up. So you may not see that the scale is changing, but you'll feel a lot more muscular, because even that small bit of fat that is left in your body will start changing to muscle. So you'll see muscle mass going up, you'll feel more muscular, but the weight still remains at 60. So don't go by the weighing scale.
So a lot of people that are come to a studio, okay, so especially women, they're saying that my weight is not decreasing, but
Inch loss. They're having fat loss.
yes, but my weight is same. How can you say that? But when we have Fit 3D scan over there, so when you scan it, then you can see the changes in the fat percentage. So why is that? Like
that's exactly what's happening. So whatever fat is stored in your body, a little bit of muscle is found everywhere. So what's happening is, especially for women, it's in the arms, it's in the buttocks, it's around the tummy area and the face. These are the favorite spots for fat to go and deposit. When you start doing any exercise, or you've started making changes to your diet, the fat that is in these areas, which is mixed with muscle, the muscle mass starts to increase and the fat starts to go down, right? So they may tell you that my clothes are fitting better, My waist size has gone down a little bit, but my weight is still the same. This is the same reason that, internally the body composition is changing. So you're improving your health, no doubt about it. Just the block is that when I see the scale, I see the same number.
Yeah, so
that should go.
It's also like what I think is, if you see you are getting slim and the muscle is more, in composition, it's very smaller than the fat. You are 50 or 50, 60. If you have a lot of fat, you look on 60, you look very, like fat. You have too much. You have too much weight.
Exactly.
But you are 60.
You are 60. So you may have the ideal BMI, right? So BMI is another term which every gym goer understands and they know about it. It's the body mass index, which basically is the ideal weight that you should have for your height and your age. Now, the BMI, we don't consider it to be very reliable, only because your body weight consists of the weight from your water, your muscles, your bones. Everything adds to your body weight, right? Now, I may have heavier bones and my BMI might be very high, right? It happens with all athletes. They have a very high weight because all that weight comes from muscle, right? And the BMI is also very high. But will you call this person obese? You can't, right? Because he has a lot more muscle. He looks muscular, but the BMI categorizes him as obese, right? That's why the weighing scale should be your second friend. The first friend should be your body composition.
Body composition as in fat mass.
Fat mass, muscle mass, body water.
Okay.
This is what you should focus on. And especially the gym goers or people who come to you in your studio and you do the 3D scan, people who come to nutritionists, we also run the body composition analysis. We don't go by BMI, right? All of us focus on increasing muscle mass and reducing the fat percentage. Because when you've reduced the fat mass, like I said earlier, you've cut down your health risk by a significant number. You may not see that from 60 I've gone down to only 59 in 3 months. But I've also developed so much muscle, right? And I'm looking much better. My heart is functioning much better. I don't have those pockets of fat which I used to have. So you should celebrate that and not have that mind block that, okay, my weight is still stuck at the same number. Especially when you're doing things to, work on your body. If I'm not doing anything and my weight is stuck there, then I'm sorry. You've brought it onto yourself.
Exactly. So now I want to touch, on, now people are saying that gut health is the new brain. Like, you have focus on your gut. So what's your take on that? Like,
okay, so gut health itself is a very big topic, right? It's a full, I would say we used to have textbooks on it, full books only on the gastrointestinal tract, okay, which is in simple terms called as the gut. Now, there exists a link between the gut and the brain. It's called the gut-brain axis, okay, which is basically communication between the brain and the stomach and the intestines, everything that forms the part of your gut. So they work on a lot of things together, starting as simple as my stomach telling my brain that I'm full and I need to stop eating. Okay, imagine if we didn't have this response, then everyone would be eating at all the time, right? Or everyone would not be eating at all. So it's called the satiety. There's a gene for this also. In the DNA test, we check this as well. Okay, there is a gene which decides when your brain should react to the feeling of fullness. Okay. There are also different communication that take place between the brain and the stomach and vice versa, which tell me if I need to release certain hormones, okay, which also gets activated when you're exercising because the blood flow increases to the gut too. So the happy hormone, or serotonin as it's called, is released from the gut.
Okay.
But it is released only when the brain tells it to come out. Right? So you see there is a lot of things that are impacted by having a good or a bad gut. So gut health definitely controls a lot of disease predictions as well. Now, if I have, for example, when we spoke about inflammation, right, it starts in the gut for most cases. Because you're taking your food which is digested by your gut, and that can cause inflammation in this organ itself before spreading to other sides. Gut health is mainly controlled by 2-3 things. Okay, one which even as a common person you can start doing this without major guidance, right? Probiotics. Again, you must have heard of this. Probiotics, prebiotics, having anti-inflammatory foods, and having antioxidants. Now, all of these will improve the bacteria which lives in your gut. Okay, our gut is a playground for millions of bacteria. Okay, what this bacteria is doing is it's metabolizing your food, and it's metabolizing all your vitamins, all your minerals, basically maintaining the balance in your system. Okay, so when the bacteria decide that, okay, the good bacteria decides that I'm done with this, let the bad bacteria take over, then what happens? You start seeing symptoms. You'll have bloating, you'll have diarrhea, constipation, gassiness, which we call. Then you'll have probably difficulties with weight loss, weight gain, both. Difficulties with digesting a lot of foods which you've always eaten. Okay, it's not something new that you've tried, which is why suddenly people can become lactose intolerant. It happens. It's not just in the mind, or it's not somebody following a trend. It actually happens. Suddenly people may develop food intolerances and allergies, right? Because the gut system has sort of gone for a toss. And as you know, we are covered in bacteria.
Yeah.
We're breathing bacteria, most of which is bad. But why it's not harming us is because the gut bacteria, the good one, is able to kill it off. Okay, is able to keep it under control. But things like smoking, alcohol, a lot of stress, mental stress, the environment, pollution, things like antibiotics as well, right? And even the wrong supplements, okay, which is why you need to proceed with caution. All these things can cause an imbalance in your gut bacteria. And then the bad bacteria takes over, and then all those symptoms which I just spoke to you about will come in play. And when you have these gut issues, then the signals which go to your brain are also affected. And when for a long period of time these signals are not working correctly, slowly you will start seeing your mental health getting affected, right? Which is where your anxiety, depression, brain fog, difficulty in concentrating, having poor memory, all of this comes in, and most cases they're related. People who come in with brain fog will also have a complaint of some sort of bloating, or will also say, yes, I do feel that when I eat this particular food, I'm not able to tolerate it. Whereas 5 years ago, I was able to eat it very well. So the gut is not the brain, right? But it is directly impacting the brain with a lot of the decisions that are made.
Okay. So you can say that gut plays a very major role in, like, it is very much connected to all of your, if you're exercising. So as we talked about earlier, that if you exercise and have clean diet, so you're reducing your stress and everything. So it is all interconnected.
Definitely. It's all interconnected because all our organs are interconnected, right? They're all in the same body. So if one works well, gradually everything else starts working well. Same with if one starts to decline, everything else starts getting affected, right? So as a common person, somebody who's listening to us and they really want to improve their gut health, there are 2-3 things that they can do. Definitely increase your intake of probiotics, prebiotics. These are also very high in the market. A lot of supplements are there outside. Just look at one which is a trusted brand, right? Because probiotics you can also get from your food, but you are not sure about how much is coming from there.
Yeah.
Okay, same goes with the supplements. You don't know how much of iron you're getting from, for example, spinach, right? If I eat 100 grams of spinach, I may get maybe 2 mg. My requirement for a day is around 18. Okay, so how much spinach will I have to eat?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So where there is a need, if you have a pronounced deficiency which is confirmed, then supplements are definitely the way to go. Like we discussed about the vitamin D as well, right? You can get it from sunlight, but you'll also get sunburnt. And you cannot calculate how much you're getting from these sources.
You cannot be outside in the Dubai like
No way.
Yeah.
Right? You will be sunburnt, you'll have a heat stroke,
Yeah.
and then vitamin D deficiency takes a back seat. You'll have all other health issues. So supplements where required, yes, they are beneficial, because with a supplement, I know if it tells me, yes, you're going to get 60,000 units of vitamin D from this one pill, I am rest assured that yes, I will definitely get this much. Right? Versus sunlight, I don't know, I can't calculate. How much vitamin D does milk have? I can't calculate. Yes, it may be written on the box, but that's 1 glass of milk. How much will I drink in a day?
And you don't know if it's like processed or
Exactly. And you don't know how well your body is absorbing it, right? Ultimately, it comes down to that my body needs to process and absorb and store. Now, if I may be drinking, let's say, 3 cups of milk every day to get some calcium. But if my body is not able to absorb it, mainly because my body cannot tolerate lactose in the first place, then it's a waste. I'm only harming my body. I'm not getting any calcium from there, right? So coming to your question, yes, the gut is very, very important. It is, I would say, plays a very crucial part in keeping off chronic diseases also, right? If your brain is working fine, your mental health is okay, your stress levels are, controlled, then you've warded off diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity anyway. It's already, the risk is cut down. Normal people, common people can start looking at prebiotics, which comes from yogurt, bananas, eat a lot more fiber, right? You can use whole grains, and especially the diets that we follow and where we come from, we focus a lot on the refined stuff, like white rice, you have white bread, you have maida, you have refined flour. Everything is white, right? So just make small changes. Go for more lentils, look at more fresh yogurt, which is not got added sugar to it, right? Try and eat raw stuff, eat raw vegetables, eat raw fruit, right? Eat fruit with the peels, wash it really well. Eat a lot more of your lean meats if you are a non-vegetarian. Avoid red meats, avoid eating fried stuff. So people who are non-vegetarian, I've had, the young ones especially, they come and they tell me, oh, I'm eating like 6 pieces of chicken every day. So I'm like, okay, that's great. You are working out also. And then he says, yeah, so I order from KFC. And I'm like, amazing. So yes, you are getting your protein, but you're getting so much more of the fat, the oil, the coating has a lot of the white flour in it, right? So try and make smarter choices. And making smart choices is very easy, right? With the access to internet that we've got, the access to all these applications that we have today, we didn't have this 10 years ago, right? So eating healthy has become really simple. It's only got to do with making smart choices, being a little more mindful about what you eat, and definitely you will be able to get, the healthy outcome out of it.
And I think being smart nowadays, it's not that hard, because you can just open your phone and then search about it.
Ask
like
ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT, yes. Ask
Yes.
ChatGPT like, what do I have to do this, and how much protein I can get, how I can eat the certain diets. But do you think like ChatGPT can replace a nutritionist?
Never. Not just a nutritionist. I don't think AI can ever replace what a human, conversation can do for you, right? Yes, the AI will talk to you. It will respond very human-like. But the AI is not, sitting and talking to you in person. I'm able to look at you, right? I'm able to see you. And culturally, I know what kind of food you've eaten, what kind of, through childhood, what kind of foods you've probably had, right? And judgmentally, I can tell you that out of my, medical judgment, I can tell you that, okay, this will probably help you well. Now, we also use AI in all of these DNA tests and blood tests and everything, the range, the recommendations, all of this comes from AI. But if the recommendation says, okay, you've got to eat avocados and you've got to have these macadamia nuts every day. Do we have access to this? Here, yes, we do. But somebody back home in India will be like, what avocado?
What is this?
Right? I've never had this in my life.
And even if they have heard about it, it's expensive.
It's expensive, right? And if I say eat a big cup of blueberries every day, blueberries in India are very expensive and it's a seasonal thing. Over here, thankfully, touch wood, you get everything throughout all the seasons. But for people living in other countries, right, their access is limited. So those kind of recommendations the AI cannot give you, right? It is always a mixture of both. Now I will use the information AI is giving me and I will use my sound judgment to give you these recommendations and tell you that yes, this is what you need to do.
So you are saying that it can help you, but it cannot replace the things that you have, because it is backed by, the first thing is like you have, the culture and everything, and there is emotion involved.
Emotion, definitely.
Because if someone's saying, no, I don't like certain foods,
yeah,
or my like in my household I'm non-vegetarian, so there are some choices that you cannot give it to, and you can feed the information,
yes,
but you cannot be as effective or as detailed that a person can get.
Correct. And as Asians, where we come from, we are very sentimentally attached to food.
Yeah.
Right? If I tell you stop eating parathas, will you ever do it? You might do it for a few months only because you want that outcome. But you'll, in the back of your mind, you have that stress that, okay, this is my favorite food and I can't really eat it. Right? So that sentiment, I don't think AI has. Right? It can give you the replacement, but the replacement will probably end up being something which is not culturally suitable for me and you. Right? So yes, definitely.
How can you tell that I need my karak or chai to AI that I need this?
Yeah, you type it out and tell me what it says. It'll give you a whole list of the damages that it can do, the amount of sugar it's got, the amount of, the milk fat which is there. It'll give you all of that. But can it make you understand that no means no? I don't think so.
How can you tell him that, no, I need the chai?
Try
I need
try,
the
try.
karak.
Yeah. Try it, please. I don't use ChatGPT that much, but yeah.
Yeah, it's trend. Everyone is using. It's useful. It's very
useful. I agree. It's very useful. It can give you a lot of information very quickly, right? So it can help you understand things also very well. But how you implement that is up to you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you, Sana. I think we have covered a lot of things today. I hope like we can do it again sometime.
Of course.
Some other things I think we have left, but we'll do it again.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully this was a fruitful conversation.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
Thank you.